Hey guys, it's Ross again. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to create a block or any type of sprite that springs the player into the air. So I've got an example here, so just drag that in. Player jumps onto the block and he's elevated into the air. So the basic concept of this is a sprite with a collision box. Once the player passes the collision box, he's elevated. So let's start. Let's create a blueprint class. Select actor, and let's just call this C elevation because I seem to love that word so much. Elevation, probably spell it wrong. Block. Let's click on that. So let's first drag in the sprite we want to use. In this case I'm using a flip book. I know in the example I just used it was a 3D block, but just to keep things simple I'm gonna use a sprite. Let's overwrite the default scene route. Let's then add a component, which is the box collision. We then want to make this an appropriate size so that the player isn't sprung into the air 100 pixels away. That should be fine. Just lift it up a little bit. We then want to go into the event graph, highlight the collision box, right click, add event for box, collision, add on component, begin overlap. We then need to cast this to our character blueprint. In this case mine's called BP char. Probably not the best way to do it. BP, there we go. Drag over actor, and as usual Unreal Engine has done most of the work for us, so we want to right click and unclick context sensitive and type in launch character. There we go. Attach this to your cast. So we then need to set up the boost for the player. So first we want to drag off launch velocity and type in, well, we can just type in an asterisk, and we want vector by float. So yeah, if you're going to tick the context sensitive, then it'll make it much easier. So vector multiplied by float. We then need to create a variable. This variable measures the amount that the player is boosted into the air. So let's create a new variable. Let's just call this boost for obvious sake. Change it to a float, compile it so we can edit the default value, and I believe 700 is a decent number. Let's drag that in. If you hold down control and drag in your variable, it'll just automatically use the boost, sorry, not the boost, the get rather than the set. If you want to automatically use the set, then you would hold alt and drag in and it would do the set. Just a quick tip. So obviously drag that to the float. We then need to get the up vector of the character. So let's get up vector, not of the box, we want it that one. We then want to get the actor rotation. So let's drag off here, get actor. There you go. That's the one. We then want to make sure we override these, because funny things usually happen if it doesn't. So compile, and this should work. Let's just delete our old example and drag in our C elevation block. And there we have it, perfect. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, I hope it helped, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.